Happy Sunday. I'm Scott McDonald, and we are here for the Pittsburgh Diamonds pregame show. Runs, hits, Aaron. And what a beautiful Sunday it is to play baseball. It's going to be a game between the Sonoma Stompers and the Pittsburgh Diamonds. And the Diamonds have had a tough time of it over the last 4 games. They got a 4-game losing streak. Today they're going up with Corey McDonald against the Stompers. First off, how's the team doing? I mean, it's been a tough 4 days.
It's been a very tough 4 days after, a promising 3-game winning streak and, knocking off one of those games in Vallejo. But, we haven't played bad. We lost a heartbreaker in Sonoma that first night. I didn't happen to be there, a game we had in the bag that we should have closed the seal on. And last night, to not come away with that win, to get beat by a former pitcher of ours, kind of is tough to take. We're just not hitting, and we're not making the play that needs to be made. It seems like there's 1 or 2 plays in the game that'll hurt us, and when you're hitting the way we are, which is at the bottom of the league, you can't make any mistakes. You can't win any ball games if you're making mistakes and you're not hitting. So things have got to change, and we're figuring out what needs to change, and whether it's personnel or whether it's guys in certain spots, and we got work to do.
We're going to talk about that in a second, but I want to talk about one thing while we're still discussing Napa. I've rarely seen such a completely different philosophy than the one the Silverados have and the one that the rest of the league has about running and trying to steal bases. Today I looked at the stats. Napa has something like 34 stolen bases already on the season, and the number 2 team has 5. They get on the base and they are after the next base as soon as they can possibly go. What's your thought about that? And is it an advantage for them or a disadvantage?
Well, I would say it's an advantage. They're at the bottom of the league in hitting as well, but they're finding a way to produce enough runs to win some ball games. I think we're 3 back from them maybe now. That's a recipe that has worked in this league in the past. You don't always have the pitchers aren't as good at holding runners on. And last night, we saw that's one of Jordan Brink's deficiencies is holding runners and being able to deliver the pitch without taking up time or just picking guys off. And we're not going to win many ball games if we're giving that up. And if they're stealing that many, they're going to have a chance in any close ball game, which that bodes well for them if they can pitch and play close ball games. You got to get on base first. So, but to have that many stolen bases, that's going to be a recipe for them, and we're going to be able, when we play them, we're going to have to combat that. And so we'll do that. Vallejo a couple of years ago had a team like that. It was very good for them, but it wasn't good enough to get them over the hump. But we'll see moving forward. They definitely have some quality players that came from good college programs that know how to run the bases. And it's going to be, playing them, it's going to be a challenge.
So Jordan Brink took the mound last night as kind of an audition or a look or whatever you want to say about becoming the 5th starter for the Diamonds. And what did you think about the performance?
Well, it's just like when he was with the Cubs. It's the same questions. Can he fill up the zone enough? The holding runners thing is something I think that's also in the way for him. Last year it didn't get exposed because he was a closer, and he'd have an inning where he walked 2, but came out of it with no runs, and he got the save. Well, to do that as a starter, it's going to come and bite you back, and it did. I mean, we still had a chance to win that ball game. He left the game at a 3-1 ball game, which is doable, but. Moving forward, it's a big question mark if he can, get us late into the game, get in the zone enough to do that, and, if he can be a winning pitcher. And that's a question mark. And, obviously, I got a lot of confidence in Corey McDonald, Brett Solano, and Tyler Starwalt. But then, Dakota looks great right now. And, who knows what Brink can be. But Travis Blackley is on his way. So there is another guy that obviously is going to take the place of somebody. So one of these guys needs to step up and establish himself as the better man.
One more question about Brink. He left the game, I believe, without having given up a hit. Yet they scored 3 runs, and they found ways on the base by being hit by pitchers or walking and then stealing. And And so I guess that would be indicative of what you were saying.
Exactly. He's got all the stuff in the world to make it happen. He's 95 miles an hour with a pretty damn good slider, and he's a bulldog out there. But you got to throw strikes. Strikes is the name of the game, and we'll see. He's gonna get another opportunity, and I'm not sure when Blackley's getting here, but he's gonna get another opportunity, and I hope the best for him, and I want him to succeed, and we're putting him in a chance to succeed. And if it works out, and if he can do it, boy, he'll be one of the best pitchers in the league. But it remains to be seen if he can make it happen.
I don't know if I had a trumpet, but it'd be something like, here comes the cavalry, and not just Travis Blackley, who we want to discuss, but we hear Joel Carranza will be here today, and there's a name up in lights here in the Pacific Association, the most valuable player 2 years ago, a big hitter for Sonoma, and we hear he's going to be in the Diamonds lineup on Tuesday.
He's going to be in the Diamonds lineup on Tuesday, and it couldn't come too soon. I tell you what, it's a little bit of weight lifted off me, just with the question marks we have in this lineup. Even if he's going to take a week to get back to form, it'll be good, because he's a presence. He's going to do great things here for us, and we're going to be a lot better team because of it. And I'm glad that this guy still has the fire in his gut to play this game. And he's a great guy, and we'd love to have him here. And I'm glad he's going to be putting on a Diamonds uniform, and we're not going to be pitching against him.
What has he been doing? Do you know what?
Well, I think he played this offseason a little bit in Japan, and then he was back in Florida, kind of considering his options. And we talked him into it.
Well, and now also coming into the cavalry, Travis Blackley. When will he be in the lineup?
Well, we're not quite sure. He's got some visa issues that he's dealing with, and we've done a lot of the paperwork for him, and he will be here soon. Hopefully he gets here sooner than later.
Alex McKeon has been seen hanging out around with the Diamonds. I asked him, he said he's not on the roster yet.
He is not on the roster. His arm's not at full strength. I mean, obviously we know, he's a great receiver back there. Had some arm problems last year, but we'll see how his arm progresses, and if it gets to the strength where he's able to compete. And then if he is, he'll be somebody that can help us.
I hear that there's one other big name from last year that may be coming back to the Diamonds. All these rumors coming in, they were kind of given away by Shaw last night when he stepped on the radio and told everything, except for this one player. I don't know if there's some reason that we can't announce that he will be coming back after his honeymoon.
After his honeymoon? Well, yes. There's an infielder out there by the name of Jose Garcia, who we're hoping is going to be ready to go, and could be here within a week or two. And obviously we know what Jose can do. So I'm not sure how this roster ends up panning out, but we all know Jose's an impact player, and so we'll be here with open arms when he gets here.
All right, well, that's all the news that I have, except for tonight. Corey McDonald is on the mound, and any things to say about his third start of the season?
Yeah, he looked good his last start. I'm hoping he's strong enough. He's going on 4 days rest for the second time in a row, and so I'm going to be watching him very closely to see his velocity is where it needs to be. And we're putting another pitcher on the roster today, Ridge Ackerman, just to be, if he gets in trouble and doesn't look like he can handle the load, we've got an extra arm down there to fill some innings.
All right, well, thank you very much, Coach. Good luck today.
That's
it from Runs Hits Aaron, the pregame show for the Pittsburgh Diamonds. The Diamonds and the Stoppers in a one-game series on this Sunday afternoon in Pittsburgh. We'll be right back for the start of today's game right after this. Thanks.